So I recently watched The Running Man, and it left me with one question. Where is the sauce? So I will use other movies as an example in a moment, but I think I should use The Running Man as a good baseline for all this, just because it's the most recent film I've seen. So from what I've seen of him, I really like Edgar Wright as a director. I've seen a good hour of Scott Pilgrim and I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry, I will watch it at some point. I saw Shaun of the Dead and I loved it. I really liked it. And I've seen Baby Driver, and I loved that one as well. Now, do I think Baby Driver or Shaun of the Dead are perfect films? No, not at all. I think they have a ton of flaws, but they have style, and that's why I love them. Now, before we continue, I think it's very important to establish that your favorite film, or a film that you love, doesn't have to be representative of what you believe a perfect film should be. You can love a film, but still acknowledge that it has a lot of flaws. Hell, Pixels could be your favorite film, but that is by no means a perfect film. Does that make any sense? So I acknowledge that Baby Driver and Shaun of the Dead have a ton of flaws, but there is something that I absolutely love about them, and that is that they have sauce. So when I went into The Running Man, I wasn't expecting some sort of cinematic masterpiece. I was just expecting to be blown away by how much, sauce there was, I guess. By the way, there was a ton of sauce in the first hour of Scott Pilgrim. I will get back to it, I swear. But needless to say, I was not blown away from The Running Man, and not only did it have a lot of flaws, but it just didn't have any style, or sauce as I'm saying in this video. So today, I kind of want to look at recent releases and see what films do have sauce, and why I believe that there are now less films without sauce and with less style, and why that's hurting the film industry so bad. My first true example of movies losing sauce besides The Running Man is The Phoenician Scheme. Now, I think The Phoenician Scheme is a very good movie, but I feel like it doesn't have like that Wes Anderson. I don't know how to put it. It felt like someone decided to copy Wes Anderson. It very much feels that Wes Anderson is just going through the motions in this film. And there isn't a lot of heart, style, or sauce. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of joy in it. In contrast, if you look at some of his earlier works, like Fantastic Mr. Fox or The Grand Budapest Hotel, there's a ton of heart and, yes, a ton of sauce. This is going to bring me a lot of hate, and I can't really use it as an example, but while watching Frankenstein, I decided to, I'm going to read the book beforehand, just because I was just like, the book's gotta be better than this, and I kind of don't want the book to be spoiled by the movie, if that makes any sense at all. But I was watching Del Toro's Frankenstein, wasn't really enjoying it. And I just know a ton of people absolutely love this film, but personally, for me, wasn't really enjoying it. It just felt so digital and it felt very lifeless. And I know other people probably think differently, that's why I'm not really using this one as an example. But I don't know, it was just missing some of Del Toro's sauce. Like, there's a huge difference of sauce. Sorry if I'm saying sauce way too much, but it's just the name of the video, so I decided I use it a bunch. But like, look at Pinocchio by Del Toro. Look at even Cabinet of Curiosities, just had so much heart and style, but Frankenstein, I don't know. It just felt like bland in comparison. Mickey 17, another film I watched, just lacked any true heart. It felt like, I don't know. So, after just like thinking of all this, where is the sauce? Although I liked Weapons, I thought it just needed more style, more oomph. If this makes any sense at all, am I going crazy, chat? People love the Black Phone too. I disagree. It felt very generic. I don't know. I'm gonna get so much hate for this video. But can I tell you some movies that did have sauce? Nosferatu, the recent one Battle After Another, and The Long Walk. The Long Walk not as much, but still. And guess what? You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Superman as well. I know some people didn't like it, but I know a lot of people don't like James Gunn. But I felt like you can't deny that his movies have his own unique style, and I really like that. But I do think, besides some rare instances, there aren't a lot of movies with sauce right now. So I'm going to get into the 3 reasons why I think movies have less sauce now. Number 1. Filmmakers are too scared to do anything new or true to their vision, it feels like, if that makes any sense. Like, nowadays it seems the cheapest movies coming out have a $100 million budget. And if I was in charge of that much money, I feel like I would want to play very, very safe. By the way, yes, I know movies back then that had sauce had high budgets as well, such as Kingsman. But if you look, this was already like an established director. He already made Kick-Ass and such. So if you're a very unestablished director, then, and you're coming out and they're just like, hey, here's a $200 million project, make a good movie. You're not going to feel like you're going to want to put like your own personal touch. It feels like you're just like, okay, let me just make a box office hit, if that makes any sense. And also that leads me into another reason. This is kind of like a side note, but since movies are so expensive, studios want to say like very safe and with people that they know, which results in a bunch of movies feeling the same. So yeah, maybe if we can just bring the budget down on movies, that would be great. By the way, I forgot to mention One Battle After Another, amazing movie, high budget, but also it's a pre-established director. So what I'm saying is movies with high budgets are mainly just a problem for like new directors and yeah. And I know I'm just recapping, but higher budgets, studios wanting to stay safe, so they just hire the same old people, They just stay in the realm of what has worked before and don't try to venture into anything new. Which that kind of leads into my next 2 points. The first one being studio interference. Now, we've all heard these horror stories on the sets of Fantastic Four, Suicide Squad, and I think Justice League, right? During the press tour, or before the movie comes out, the directors just come out and say, hey, the studio interfered, these movies are awful. And as I said earlier, studios are motivated by money and what works, so they might alter the director's vision to stick in the realms of what works. Studios are just scared of people saying, oh no, that's something new. Let's change that entire scene and just throw a CGI battle with, a terrible song over it. Now my final reason, there are a ton of franchises. And although it sounds like the DCU is not going to do this, it just seems like there's less room for, creative visions, if that makes any sense. And although it seems like they're trying to get better, I think the most prominent example of this is Marvel. Just every movie feels the same because they're in the same world and all that jazz. So it doesn't really feel like you can do too much different because, it's the same world and all that. And it has to have the same vibe as all the other movies. And again, franchises are likely very high budget, so it just leads to the studios being spooked of, doing something different and wasting all that money. So surprise, surprise, it's like most things where it's not the filmmaker's fault most of the time. It's studios. And soon AI is just going to take over everything, and everything will be totally sauceless. This is not a very happy way to end the video. I'm sorry, please subscribe. My next video will try to be happier. For every subscriber, I will send 1 puppy to your house. Just the person watching this. There will be like 100 puppies at your house. Keep an eye on them.